Most coaches and consultants are already good enough at what they do to charge more, but at the end of the day, they aren't. It's got nothing to do with how good they are at their job. It's because they haven't taken the time to learn the 2 high-income skills that determine how much lands in their bank account at the end of each month. The amount you can charge is directly tied to the amount of interest you've got in the product that you sell. So then making more money isn't about getting better at coaching. It's more about how good you can get at marketing your business. And in my opinion, marketing only really comes down to 2 things. The first is building an audience, and the second is converting that audience into your paying clients. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 2 high-income skills that any coach, consultant, or creator can learn to do those things better than anyone else in their space. Just quickly, before we get into the rest of the video, in the top link in the description, there's a free resource I created to help turn your content into clients in 30 days. It's quick and actionable stuff you can implement into your business each day. And like I said, the link for that's at the top of the description. Let's go into the video. The best coaches are the ones who are the most visible to their target audience. Your stuff could genuinely be life-changing for certain people, but if nobody knows you exist, or the people who know you exist aren't compelled enough to make a buying decision on what you sell, it doesn't even matter. And I honestly think most coaches know this, but they start fixing the wrong things. They start tweaking the offer, they change the pricing, they do a whole rebrand, when in reality, the real problem is either one of 2 things. Either not enough of the right people are finding them, or they are finding them, but nobody's being nurtured towards making a buy decision. So in basic terms, it's literally just about traffic and conversion. So let's talk about content. Most coaches think that content is about showing up, being consistent, having a posting schedule, going viral if you're lucky maybe, but that's not what makes content a high-income skill. Content becomes a high-income skill when you realize it's not just about showing up. It's about building trust at a scale that one-to-one or direct outreach couldn't. Just think about it like this. You can only have a certain number of one-to-one conversations every day, but that one piece of content can have that exact same conversation with thousands of your ideal clients at the same time. So the shift with content is to stop asking what I should post and start asking what questions and conversations do I need to have with my future clients. So in my opinion, in content right now, there's only 2 formats that matter: short form and long form. Short form, you've got Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and this is your reach engine. Short form content gets you in front of as many people as possible who've never heard of you. It's fast and punchy, and its only job is really to get someone to stop scrolling. But in my opinion, short form content is becoming less and less effective on its own to drive traffic. Because you've only got 30 to 60 seconds, you can spark curiosity, but you definitely can't make someone trust you enough to spend £1,000 to £1,500 on a coaching program. And this is where long form, I think, is starting to become more and more effective. You've got YouTube, podcasts, and this is effectively your trust engine. It's where someone goes from just knowing your name to actually feeling like you're the person that can solve their problems long term. And the way I like to see it is that short form gets them into the room, long form closes the door behind them. Now, the most common mistake I see with content, and I made this one myself, is leading with the solution before the person even knows that they have a problem. Here's my program, here's my features, my methods. And the person watching is thinking, that's all well and good, but what is actually in it for me? But when you lead with the problem and when you describe someone's frustrations so well that they think you're literally reading their mind, something shifts with that trust aspect. So every piece of content you make should start with a problem your ideal client is already living with. Once you've led with that, give them something useful and point towards your solution at the end. And one more thing on content that took me way too long to understand. All your followers, whether you've got 1,000 or 100,000, aren't leads for your business. Someone following you on Instagram doesn't mean you have a direct line to them. The algorithm still decides whether or not they're going to see your post. And if Instagram goes and decides that they're going to change the algorithm tomorrow, then that connection between you and your audience is gone. So content alone isn't a business in itself, which I think a lot of people get wrong. Content is only the top of the machine. It builds warm, interested traffic, which feeds the rest of the funnel. So once you've got that traffic, once you're making good content, you need somewhere to send that traffic that you actually own. Before we get to the second high income skill, it's important you understand how to connect the 2 of them, because it's where most coaches and consultants leave the money on the table. When someone watches your content and they're interested, that's their peak intent. They want more, but if you don't catch it at the right time, they'll just scroll on to the next video. And the likelihood is they won't come back. And so the way we capture that attention is with ManyChats and squeeze pages. ManyChats is as simple as automating your Instagram DM. So if you post a reel and you tell people to comment a certain word, ManyChat will automatically send them a DM with a link. That link goes to a squeeze page, which has one job, and that is to get their email address in exchange for something valuable. That might be a free guide, a session plan, training program, and the moment they opt in, they're on your email list, which you actually own. That's as simple as it is to take your followers and turn them into leads. And then the second high income skill is what turns leads into clients. Right, let's talk about email. I'll say something quickly which might surprise you. Email is the highest marketing ROI channel available to coaches and consultants right now. And the irony is it's not new or exciting, been around for a long time, but it works better and more effectively than anything else. And a lot of the time, email is where buying decisions are made. Think about when someone else has tried to sell you something. You might discover a coach or a consultant online or through social. At the time you're ready to buy, you've likely already read a number of emails from that person, and the trust between you and that person has been built up over time. That's what email does, and that's why it's such a high income skill to learn. Now, the biggest mistake I see coaches make all the time is treating it as some sort of megaphone and only using email when there's something they want to sell. And then they wonder why no one wants to buy from them. The people on your list gave you their email because they trust you. But if the only time you're ever in their their inboxes when you want them to pay you, they're going to stop opening your emails pretty quickly. And eventually they might just unsubscribe. Think of it like this. Every email you send that isn't a sales email is almost like a deposit into some sort of trust account. And so when you make an offer, it's almost like you're making a withdrawal from that account. And obviously the bigger the balance of trust you build up over time, the more your audience are going to buy from. The truth is, the coaches who are making consistent money from email aren't even the ones with the biggest list. They're the ones who show up the most and have the best trust with their audience. You don't need a complicated strategy. All you need to do is write like you're talking to one person instead of a list. Tell stories from your business, from your experience, from your clients' results. Teach some useful information, and then at the end make it as easy as possible for them to take the next step if they want to. I'm not telling you to write a newsletter, just have a conversation with someone. If you rethink writing emails that way, you'll find your open rates increase, that your click-through rates increase, and ultimately you'll start making more money from your email. And also with emails, consistency beats frequency every time. So pick a cadence you can actually stick to, because going dark for 6 weeks, then flooding someone with a ton of sales emails, it's going to kill your trust with that person quicker than anything else. And to be honest, as a coach or consultant, you don't need to convert everybody. You just need the right people at the right time to say yes. And that's why email is such an effective skill to learn. If you've got an audience and you're not building an email list, you're leaving serious money on the table every single month. So here's the whole thing put together. You create content, short form to reach new people, long form to build a deep level of trust. That drives people to your ManyChat or directly to your Squeeze page. They swap their email for something valuable and they're on your email list. Then from there, your email sequence does the rest of the work. It nurtures, builds trust, delivers more value, and moves people towards your paid offer. And that's the simple difference between chasing clients and having a business that gets clients for you. So the skills I've run through today aren't new in any way, but the coaches and consultants who treat them as learnable skills, who build systems around them, who are consistent with them over a long period of time, are building the successful businesses that are going to grow. Your expertise is probably already worth 5K to someone. The only question is whether they can find you and whether you can move them towards saying yes to your offer. Now, if you want the exact steps to start building this in your own business, go grab the 30 ways to turn your content into clients in 30 days. It's free, and the link's in the top of the description. And just remember, the coaches making 5, 10, 15K off of their content didn't learn anything or do anything that you can't do yourself, but they did make a start.